So jQuery Basics 2. So here we are going to cover 3 more topics: forms and object manipulation and Ajax. Forms. We have seen some examples of forms already, and there are in fact several things you can do with a form. So you can change. So basically change means, and you can provide some kind of handler. So whenever the value in the form fields the changed, then we are going to execute some handler or something like that. jQuery Pram creates a serialized representation of an array or object suitable for use in a URL query, string, or AJAX request. Okay, so suppose if you want to create this serialized representation, then you can actually call param, and it could be used in typically in AJAX request. Select serialize, and serialize encoding a set of form elements as a string for submission. And the val get the values, and submit is basically submitting it. Okay, so we're gonna actually try these things in the end-zone lab. And submit is basically submitting the form, and it is the same thing as bind with event type submit and then handler. Okay? It can only be attached to form elements. That makes sense, right? You cannot use submit method on any other element other than form. And you can cancel the submit action by calling prevent default on the event object or by returning false from the handler. So we play around by returning handler, especially when the validation method is invoked. If the this is in fact the validation method, then we could actually return false when validation fails, right? Or you could actually call prevent default method on event object if you want to. Okay, so this is something that we have seen before yesterday. Okay, so let's do lab 1. Okay, so let's take a look at the oh, I didn't, let me see. Let me unzip this guy. Okay, so let me just load the documentation. Yeah, I'm gonna just use the basics 2 here, lab documentation. Okay, so we're gonna try the form and select. So the first one is the cancellation. So this is something we have played around already. So I'm gonna just move forward. Okay, so when you return false, and then it will not be submitted. The thing is this: if it is in fact true, so let's actually try this. Okay, form 01. Oops. Open folder and labs basics 2 and sample files. Okay, so this is form 01. Okay, so if it returns false, and then it will not be submitted to this destination. Okay, all right, so let's actually try this one first. So nothing happens. Okay, it doesn't actually go to this page. Only thing it does is just the alert message. However, if you change this one to true, okay, and then refresh the page, and we're gonna actually see this alert message, and then we should actually go to this dummy destination page, which is this guy, dummy form destination.html file. That is this guy. Okay, all right. So depending on whether you return true or false, submission could in fact happen or not. Okay, so that is the exercise 1.1. Okay, so I'm gonna actually let you to change to true and see the page gets displayed. Okay, just I demonstrated. Conditional submit. Yeah, so this is the case where we are in fact perform the validation. So let's actually do form 02. So here we have validation. Okay, so let's run this guy first. Yeah, so if we type correct, then that is a correct message, so it's validated. Otherwise not valid. Oh, okay, so this is probably not that much of a big deal here. Basically we just show the message validated and not validated. Okay, it doesn't even actually submit to oh yeah, so this is actually another typically for action you are providing some kind of URL to the destination page, right? But you can also specify JavaScript code. So what it does is if it is successful, then we are going to see this alert message. Okay, if it is not successful, then we are not going to see this message. Okay, so action could be in fact the JavaScript code. So that's basically what it does. So let's actually try again. So when it is correct, then we should see success alert message like this, right? If it is incorrect, then we should not see any alert message. We are not seeing that alert message. Okay. All right. So that is the point of this guy. Okay. So not that much of a big deal. Yeah. So emphasize of it. Yeah. So apply fade out 3000 to validate message for your exercise. Yeah. This is not really a form related exercise, but effects. Okay, 1.3 is select val. So this is the select case. So let's say select val. So if you run this guy, so this is the single selection, okay, and this is the multi-selection. Okay, so initially, yeah, if you refresh the page, initially the single is selected, and here are multiple and multiple 3. Those are pre-selected. Okay, so that is the code. Okay. Okay, so if you take a look at this code, yeah, I'm gonna just use the documentation, and you basically display which one has been selected on single. For multiple, we just it shows what has been selected. Okay. All right, so if you take a look at the code, we have a select element, and we have a select element, and this is the multiple selection. So this is the multiple attribute, and if you say multiple, that means this is multiply selectable. And here we have these 2 guys selected. Okay, right? Okay, and then basically we can get the value of that selection. So the single value. So this one should return just a single selection, and this one is multiple selection. So when we call val method on on multiple of the select ID, okay, then we can in fact then we are basically displaying single value and the multiple values, and we are using join method of a JavaScript object to have a comma. Okay, and this is actually change. This is a change a method. Okay. So whenever this select is changed, basically if any select has been changed, we like to call this function. Okay. So if I want to change, so whenever you're changing, you're seeing this value, right? Okay. However, suppose if you change just I want to see only the change of this guy, then you can say pound select pound single, then this display vals will be invoked only when this is being changed. Okay. All right, so hopefully that code is relatively simple to understand. Okay, and for your exercise, add another and third multi-select with 3 options, 1, 2, 3, and 2 and 3 pre-selected, and create another function which gets called only when third multi-select is changed, meaning the one that the one that you just added. Only when that is changed, you want to call that function that you're going to create. Okay, so the next one is event handler for select value change. Okay, so whenever you're changing, this is select change. Okay, so whenever I change, you can see this is being displayed, right? Okay, um, and pretty straightforward. So again, we are taking advantage of this change method, meaning any element with any select element. If any of those select element is changed, then we are going to call this this function. Okay. Okay. All right, so that is the end of exercise 1. So I'll give you guys about 10 minutes to try this exercise. Our next topic is object manipulation, jQuery object manipulation. So we're going to look into a couple of the methods. Extend. So you can see we are using extend method from jQuery object itself. So it's used to merge the contents of 2 or more objects together into the first object. When we supply 2 or more objects to extend, properties from all of the objects are added to the target object. Okay, so the first object is going to be target object. Okay, and the remaining objects will be in fact overlapping to the target object. If only one argument is applied, then that means the target object was target argument is omitted. And in this case, jQuery object itself is assumed to be the target, and by doing we can add new functions to jQuery namespace, and that could be useful for plugin authors wishing to add new methods to jQuery. Yeah, this is probably not that much. This is pretty unique case, so yeah, we probably don't work on this one for now. Oops. Okay, so let's do exercise 2. So let's exercise 2. So we're going to actually do extend, and also we're going to actually work with a cloning. So the object extend. So let's take a look at the object extend. Object extend. So let's see what happens when we run this code. This is what you get. Okay, pretty straightforward. So in this case, we have regular JavaScript object 1, and then we have regular JavaScript object 2. So object 1 and object 2, and this guy has apple, banana, and cherry properties, and object 2 has a banana and durian properties. So the duplication, the banana property is in both objects. Okay, so when you use extend to object 1 to object 2, so object 1 in this case the target object, and this guy is overlapping, is actually moved to the properties of this guy will be in the target object. Okay, so now when you console there, now we should be able to actually see apple, banana, cherry, as well as duration. Okay, but when they happen to have duplicate properties, that this overriding version will override this guy, target object. So the resulting object will have this guy. Okay, so that's the reason you're actually seeing this guy. We have an apple, banana, price 200. Okay, so this is the one in the resulting object, and cherry and durian. Okay, and then we are basically, so that's the JavaScript object, and we are basically using JSON. So in this case, we want to print object, and basically we can either use JSON string file, that is the one that we have used yesterday, right? So you check whether there is in fact a JSON built-in object or not, which should be the case. This should be available. So we're going to use the JSON stringify, the function, and that is a function. And so basically that is the function is, you can think this is a function object, right? So print obj is a function object, and we are actually calling it, passing this object 1. Okay, so that's what you are actually seeing right here. Does that make sense? All right, and so for your exercise, add the following to object 2 and observe the result. Okay. Okay, the next one is cloning. So cloning is when you do when you do have, so basically we are cloning in this case all the B up. So we have a B, we have actually two bold elements, right? Okay, so and basically what we do is that for all B elements, so we have two of those, we like to clone it and then prepend it to P. Okay, so basically we are adding these two guys and then we are just inserting right here and here. Okay, so let's actually do this clone things. Okay, so you can see now we are seeing hello 2 cloned. Wait a minute, refresh the page. Let's see, the first one is hello, and let's see, basically we see two, yeah, without this code. Oh, so without this code, this is what we are going to see, right? Okay, and then basically when we clone and then prepend to P, prepend 2 to P, so when we do this, okay, and these guys are prepended to how are you statement. Okay, so in that case, this one is the end result is something like yeah, but why is actually hello 2 here? All right, so I have to think a little bit. You guys actually think about this one as well. Okay. All right, so I'll give you 5 minutes to do this exercise. Yeah. So Sanil was saying it is actually in fact a union operation. That probably making sense. Okay. Last topic on this presentation is Ajax. I assume pretty much all of you know the concept of Ajax, correct? Anybody who doesn't know what Ajax is, just let me know so that I can get a sense of you guys' background. Anybody who doesn't know what Ajax is? Okay. Okay, looks like a few people. All right. Yeah, let me just move on and okay, so this is the Ajax high-level API support in jQuery for supporting Ajax. So we're going to take a look at few. In fact, if you take a look at the Ajax support in jQuery documentation, there are tons of APIs, right? We're going to actually take a look at only a few. Okay. First, load method. So you perform the selection of elements, then you call load, and this is the destination where you are sending the request, and this is the data that you can send to the server. Okay, this is optional, and complete is a callback function when the request is complete. Okay, so this is pretty simple Ajax method. So basically, when the button is clicked, okay, I want to load the Ajax test1.txt file. So we're actually loading it from the same location, but typically it is in fact HTTP URL. Okay, so what you're saying is that I want to load the contents from this destination in the background. Okay, asynchronously using Ajax. Okay, so when this data is received from the server asynchronously, I want to use that content to change the value of this div element. Okay, so that is load method. The next one is Ajax. Ajax is a bit more verbose, and it actually gives you a lot more options. Okay, so you can specify URL, so you can specify where you want to send the request, and you can actually have a success and error and things like that. So if it is successful operation, meaning the server says a server sends back the response successfully, then I want to perform this. And I can also add error here. So if there has been some kind of error, then I want to actually execute that function and things like that. Okay. So basically this is the URL and the settings, and this is URL, and then you can actually have a bunch of settings. Okay. So that is the Ajax method. Okay. This one you are going to. Oops, sorry about that. This one you are going to use the jQuery object itself. Okay. All right. The next one is Ajax complete. So when Ajax request complete, then you want to perform this handler. Okay. So when Ajax operation is done, then I want to I want to actually display this message. Okay. All right. So let's do exercise 3. Okay, so you know what? Yeah, we need to actually run this application as a Maven, the MVC project, because we need a server that actually responds back. Okay, so instead of actually using bracket, we need to actually run this application as a Maven project. So I want you to, in fact, start any the Eclipse IDE or NetBeans IDE, it doesn't matter. Any IDE that support the Maven. I'm going to actually use STS. Okay, so STS is actually Spring Tool Suite, which is the Eclipse plus STS specific plugins, including Maven. So I already have this guy. So you want to import the project. So here, I'm going to just use the documentation to. First of all, you want to import the project, and then you are going to run it. Okay, so let me actually do that. So I already import the project. Okay, so you are going to import like this: file and import, and then make sure you are extending Maven, because you are importing Maven project. Extending Maven, select existing Maven project, and next, and then the directory, there is actually samples Maven. So if you go to the labs, let's go to the labs here, and this is the jQuery basics 2, right? And there is a samples Maven directory. You click this guy, and there are in fact the 5 Maven projects. Or click OK. And in my case, I have already imported. That's the reason it's kind of grayed out. But in your case, you should actually have all these things to be importable. And then you basically finish, and it will be imported like this. Okay. So we are going to work with the jQuery Ajax, the application. Okay. So we need to actually run this application first. Okay. So I'm going to run it. So right click it. And you might have to actually run as and Maven install first. Okay, if you actually receive some kind of 4.4 error, that means things are not compiled yet. So make sure you actually to perform Maven install first. Okay, so it's going to actually rebuild the application. Okay, and the console should actually indicate that the things are completely built, and then you should be able to run it. Okay, so let's. Okay. Why it doesn't say? Let me just rebuild one more time. Maven install. Yeah. It should actually say the complete or something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna actually run it again. Yeah, I'm gonna actually run it, assuming it is already built. Then you say run on server. Okay, has been modified. Okay, so I'm gonna just, and then you're going to select the server. So if you're using vanilla Eclipse, you might not in fact have a Tomcat. So in that case, you have to actually add a Tomcat as one of the server. If you're using STS, it comes with this TC server. So if you have not installed any Eclipse yet, just go to the STS Spring Tool Suite. Okay, so I'm going to deploy the application. So once it's actually running, this is what you are going to see. Okay, it will display ajax-load.html page. Okay, and then we are going to actually execute each of this. So the first one is we are going to use loading. The second we are using ajax method, and third one is ajax complete. Okay. You know what? Yeah, the reason this is actually taking some time for me is so I probably want to actually, because I actually, it probably is okay, but let me just re-import it, because in my case, so I'm gonna just delete the project. Okay, all right, so I am going to, okay, so and I'm gonna just stop this guy, and I can anyway, let me just explain it. Okay, so when you click ajax load, okay, and then this is what you are going to see. Okay, so this is ajax, so this is the portion that should not change. Okay, but this one will be changed when you perform the ajax operation. So when you click change content, then it will perform ajax operation, and you can actually observe the ajax operation. So the open developer tools, and then you can see this has been changed. Live your life with passion. And then if you observe that network operation between the browser and client, so this is the thing that this is the destination, so to speak. Okay, so this has been successful. And if you take a look at the all the way down in the request, you are going to see in fact X requested with XML HTTP request. This indicates that the request is in fact sent from the browser asynchronously using XML HTTP request. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the ajax load HTML, so that is under, if you actually expand jQuery ajax and src main web app, and that is in fact the ajax load.html. So this is the page that gets loaded when you run the application. And if you take a look at the code, we are basically using load and ajax test1.txt file, and this is actually something from the same server. Okay, so that's the reason it gets actually displayed. Okay, so okay, so for your exercise, add life is good somewhere in the ajax load.html document, and when p element is clicked, append the contents of the response inside p elements. In other words, existing life good should display life is good and live your life with passion. So basically you're going to use the load method again to perform the ajax operation to the contents of this one, and then you just add it here like this. Okay, all right, so that is the load operation, and if you click this guy ajax, this will perform the same thing, but this time it's going to use ajax method. Okay, so you can see it's still using XML HTTP request. And if you take a look at this code, we are basically using, I'm going to just to show you, we are in fact using ajax, and the URL is the same, and then basically when successful, we are going to set the result to the div element. Okay, all right, the last one is ajax complete. So when you call trigger, basically this is what you are going to see. Okay, and if you take a look at the code, we have a 3 div element. Okay, and so when this log when this trigger div element is clicked, we are performing ajax operation using load. Okay, and then when that log, what is this? Yeah, this is class.log. When okay. When Ajax complete, then we want to perform this function, and I am actually a little bit confused on this guy. The Ajax complete method is actually being performed on that particular log div element. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna actually let you guys do this exercise. In the meantime, I'm gonna actually study a little bit on this log case. Okay, so I am going to give you about I'll give you about 20 minutes to do this exercise. I'll give you 15 minutes. Okay,